Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we ran into a little problem on the IS250. This was a problem that I thought I could avoid on this car since it spends most of its time inside, garage kept, and not much time in the sun. But the navigation screen stopped reacting to touch. This is a very common problem on the navigation screen for the 2IS. So what I got today is this $15 or $20 digitizer I bought on eBay. We're gonna go ahead and take this thing apart and replace the screen in front of the screen that reacts to your touches. It's a pretty easy install as long as you know how to take off the radio and take it apart and swap this thing out with the little ribbon cable on it. So stay tuned. So we're inside the house now. What I'm gonna do, just to make this a little bit easier to work with, I'm gonna take apart the brackets for this whole thing and then separate the radio from the navigation unit. That way I can work on the navigation unit by itself to make it a little bit easy, because this thing is pretty freaking heavy and it's hard to kind of just move around and get these plastic things to pop out of the way. So we're just gonna go ahead and just separate the radio from the nav screen right now. This piece comes off with a TPMS computer on top of it. These things are pretty sharp, so just careful with them so you don't cut yourself or damage anything. So now that we got it apart, separating the nav screen should be pretty easy. I think you just kind of lift it apart and it slides into the radio a little bit. It doesn't just like fall right apart. Be careful not to break anything. I haven't done this in years, so I don't remember. The radio definitely slides back, but forgot to. There you go. Okay, that sounded worse than it was. So if you look under here, there's actually two little tabs right here that go in, and then there's another center right here. Did take a little bit of skin off my finger, but oh well. Yeah, on this side, there's these two little hooks that hold it on. That's what was holding it on right here. These two little hooks right here in the tab. So didn't damage or break anything, but it is kind of scary when it pops out. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just take apart the 4 screws that hold the face of this. I'm gonna try to slide the face off of here. Like I said, I haven't taken this thing apart in freaking 11 years, so I don't remember exactly what to do, but I'm just guessing at this point. This pops off. I'm just gonna go ahead and unplug the ribbon cable here so I don't damage anything. Not the ribbon cable, but the little plug. You can just pull it straight out from there. So this is the screen. We'll put that off to the side. So now what we have to do is get inside here and change the digitizer. So it looks like I see 2 screws on this side and then 2 on this side that give us access to the metal plate to take this off. So I'll go get some smaller screwdrivers. Not sure what this is, but it's gonna be in the way of the Bluetooth. It's a little Bluetooth module there. So go ahead and unscrew these. Bluetooth module back, and then see if this thing comes off pretty easily. Maybe I'll take apart these 2 rails right here that kind of keep the screen at that angle. Actually, those two still have two more screws back here that hold it. So got all those screws out. Let's see if it, so yeah, this thing moves a little bit better now. A lot of ribbon cables back here. Okay. So let's go ahead and put this at another angle that we can work on it. All right, so slide that cover off. Now we have access to the Digitizer screen. So it's just first thing I'm gonna do, I'll actually just pop this ribbon cable off back here. Usually you just flip the thing up, slide the cable out, and then unplug this other little supply wire right here. Just pop it out with the little flathead. So we got this out, so we're gonna put everything aside, work on this little screen. So now that we got this thing apart, first thing I want to do is, so this thing kind of separates from there, but you just gotta be careful that there aren't any other ribbons or anything that might damage, because it just plugs, and it just plugs right into the back side here, but it's covered up right now. So the board is actually mounted to this back cover, and then this guy's mounted to here. You can get a flathead in there and kind of pop that out. You kind of reach in there, and you also use the holes back here. You get a smaller flathead in there. Pop that out. Slide this thing right out. So that's the Digitizer. I think it's glued. Might be glued down. Get the new one out and see. So it is pretty thick glass. It's got its own tape on it, so this side looks like it's taped down too. I'm gonna put some of these screws back in just to hold this down for now, because it wants to pop out. Yeah, probably get a razor blade and just cut the glue out. So got a little razor blade, we'll go ahead and just cut this off. So I got this baby removed, so you can see right here there's like a little bit of residue from the glue or the tape left. So I'm about to clean that off around the bezel. And then back here you can see this is the old one that I just took out. So I'm not sure what really goes wrong with these digitizers. I know everybody that has a NAV unit ends up going bad at one point or another into its life. I did take it off pretty cleanly. There was some areas where the glass kind of cracked when I got the razor blade underneath, but that's fine. I'm just tossing that in the trash anyway. And then the new one came with plastic on both sides, so just peel that off, make sure everything's nice and clean. Maybe do a wipe down with some alcohol just to make sure you don't get any fingerprints or dust in here. All you have to do is just peel the tape off and then put it back onto here once it's all cleaned up, and you should be good. So I was able to scrape most of this off with my fingernail and then just using a card to scrape most of the adhesive off, but it's going to leave this film behind. So what I did is I put a little bit of acetone onto a cotton ball, and I just basically just wipe the edge very close. Don't get on the screen because acetone melts plastic, and then you can see it's taking off the paint on here, a little bit of the paint, but this is the only thing that's going to really take off all this adhesive really fast. You could try brake parts cleaner, just a little brake parts cleaner on a little cotton ball too, but that stuff evaporates really fast. That probably won't take off the paint, but this definitely takes off the paint, but it does loosen the adhesive a little bit, so you can actually scrape it and clean it better than without it. So now that I got it pretty much cleaned up with the acetone, I'm going to take one of these alcohol wipes. I got a bunch of these from the screen protectors for iPhones and stuff. And I'm going to just wipe it down, and then I'm going to use that little dust sticker that these things come with, and then get all the dust and crap off the screen before I put the new Digitizer on. Just want to clean off the screen from anything that we were working on. A little bit of adhesive and things that got stuck. Then clean off all around the edges, leftover residue and anything from that the acetone didn't get off, along with all the little cotton ball hairs and lint. Take one of these stickers and just get the lint and everything off of here. So now that we got it pretty much cleaned up, then got more lint on here, I'm gonna go ahead and get the screen on here. Yeah, this thing just attracts lint like crazy. All right, so we wanna get this off. Just peel the protective layer. And then get the tape. So just peel it. Just make sure you get it all the way down to the actual adhesive itself and not the top layer of the. Make sure you have the thing on the right orientation. So I made sure that the little ribbon plug is right there. And then I'm just gonna lay it down on start on one corner. Make sure you're square. Once you confirm that you're square on all ends, go ahead and put it down. And just go ahead and just go around, use your make sure it's all good. Go ahead and peel the protective layer. Get this guy back on. Make sure. Get the cover back on. Get the ribbon over. So we'll go ahead and plug this thing in. So you slide it into the little slot and then make sure it's firmly placed. It's only got 4 contacts, so it's a pretty big ribbon. And then just get your screwdriver and then just press it down the retaining clip. So we'll go ahead and install it back into the unit, and then we're gonna go test it out in the car. So we're in the car now. I plugged up what I could on the back here just to get it turned on. I didn't have the face on it at first and it wouldn't work. Nothing would respond, so I had to go grab the face, put it in here and just plug it up right now. And looks like everything is working as far as the screen goes, which was what I was really testing right now. So let me see. So yeah, like telephone works. Telephone's connected. Works. So let me see. Yeah, I mean, I was just making sure the Digitizer worked, but it looks like all my buttons work now. Beep off, beep language. So all the spots work on the Digitizer, so we're good with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it all back together and reinstall everything. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in all the way to the end of this episode on fixing that digitizer on the nav screen. I know this is a very common problem, and if you're watching this video, you probably have that same issue. As you can see, it's a pretty straightforward install, as long as you know how to take everything out of the car without really damaging too much of your dash or anything else. Even when you take it out and get everything off, you gotta just be careful not to damage anything. But anyways, if you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to your channel already, go ahead and subscribe to your channel to just follow me on all my maintenance issues on this 2007 IS250 that I've had since it was brand new, on my IS300 project or my minivan. And stay tuned for my next episode, or maybe 2 episodes from now. I'm actually doing an LED swap on my radio. So on my radio and my whole car interior, about 10 or 12 years ago, I changed all the LEDs from that ugly green to like a blue and a white, and some of the LEDs have failed on me. So since I've got everything taken apart, I'm gonna go ahead and just change those LEDs out. So on the next episode, I'll have a quick DIY on changing all those LEDs out. So stay tuned for that, and I'll talk to you guys next time.